the mindset to have, because your team's not going to win games for you. So you kind of have to, if you're trying to get better, climb, win, right? Whatever your goal is, if you're trying
Yeah.
to go somewhere, you have to be able to carry if you're trying to win games or your team's not doing fantastic. And it's usually just a great, teammates will lose you games. That will happen, but you want to not really focus that, don't not dwell on that, because that's going to
Yeah.
happen all the time, and instead, focusing on your own gameplay, and then that way you're able to improve, get better, and then eventually be able to win even with bad teammates and whatnot. All
Yeah.
right, final question for you. Do you have any questions for me before we get started?
Um, no, not at all, really. I'm just one of my friends used you probably about a week ago, a soldier player, and he like basically referred me and said, he will help you out, basically. So
Oh, gotcha. Wait, so you said somebody else got coaching? What was the name?
yeah, with Sarge, XP
Sarge.
Sarge, EXP
Oh,
Sarge.
gotcha. All right. Yeah. I know him. That was recent. All right. So why don't we just hop right into it? It'll just be a minute
Yeah.
or so. I'm looking for something to talk about here. First thing is you do have like an angle right to spawn from, like right here, and you can like kind of peek through,
Okay.
maybe throw dynamite, and then kind of
Nice.
back up and get back up. So that might, honestly, it works. Damage in and then back up and like take the high ground position.
Yeah.
Whereas here, this isn't too bad either. This is a good spot. But they might be able to, especially if our team wasn't there, they might be able to push us here.
Yeah, and like there, I went down because I thought to myself, thought I needed to be with my team,
Mm-hmm.
and as soon as I went down, it was like they'd just broken off straight away, and I was like,
Yep,
oh,
exactly. Alright. Bit early. So there looked like we were kind of froze up to go for a dynamite play, but it was still in
yeah,
like 3 seconds. So just watching the cooldown, and then we accidentally did an early dynamite. Nothing like super major yet though. Alright. So here, just we kind of want to be a bit aware of like where the teams are at. It looks like we were down a player, where we're down
yeah,
Sigma currently. Our team's starting to back up a little bit, and then the problem.
yeah, yeah,
Overall, just a bit far forwards. Lets them kind of jump on us. Good boop the Ryan. Good job booping the Ryan off though.
yeah. He did make me jump.
Okay, good dynamite.
That one's on the house.
Okay, and good coach con once again. All right. Why don't we go over, because I'm noticing it a little bit here so far. In a couple of these fights. So let's
Yep.
review really quickly target priority. So target priority is just generally speaking the basic concept. Like you can get a bit more advanced with it, but the very basics is that you want to shoot at the easiest targets to kill, because the easiest targets to kill will be the ones that actually die, and then you'll actually get value out of it.
Yeah,
Tanks by design are the hardest characters to kill in the game. They have 2 to 3 times the health, they have armor, they have shields, they have tanking abilities. Overall, they're designed to be very, very difficult, and therefore, usually we don't want to be spending too much time shooting at the tanks. That's not to say that we never shoot at them. We shoot at them when they're
yeah,
low, out of position, when they're the only thing that we can shoot at. But when you have another option, another options like kind of equal access, i.e., equal access, Ana,
Yeah.
to Reinhardt, or Kiriko to Reinhardt, right? Equal access to shoot at either or. You kind of want to go for the easier character to kill in a lot of circumstances. And then the other thing is that even if you don't have easy access, sometimes you can even go and search out those easier targets to kill. So especially here, but then it maybe even like some of the other ones, where we're kind of like we'll look at Reinhardt and then we'll look at somebody else, and then
Yeah.
so just I would make sure that we're kind of just going for a bit better of targets. That all
No,
that
that's
making
fine.
sense?
Yeah, it's almost like I've been baited into the fact that he is a tank and to
Exactly.
shoot at him
Mhm.
rather than like you say, just not leave him, but like that first where I dynamited and
Mm.
Symmetra was there. I kind of
Yeah,
shot
exactly.
at the tank first rather than just straight go for Symmetra.
Exactly. So that was one of the other times. Like it looks like you identified that. That was one of the other times that I
Yeah.
noticed, right, where we dynamited, right, we kind of shot around her first, and then we looked over the Symmetra. So, exactly, that was another example. All right, and then on just keeping once again,
Yeah.
eyes and ears open, and that's part of awareness, right? Just being aware of our surroundings. We'll maybe go more on that if we see it keep coming up. And that got us killed. So just definitely need to be cognizant, watching out for that.
Yeah.
Alright. Yep, I think this is a good spot to start here. Uh-oh.
It's weird seeing it where the enemy is now. So seeing it back myself and seeing like where they are does open it up to like, where to look a lot more.
Yeah. And we definitely want to just like be pre-aiming those like doorways and whatnot. Probably be tossing dynamite right around here. Good shots. Just want to be opening up with those dynamites. Perfect dynamite. Just the faster we're opening up the fight, the more we're gonna get out there doing things. Right now we still have our supports. You're down a bit, so I might request healing. And oftentimes people on console don't have it bound. I would recommend having it bound, maybe on like your
Okay.
D-pad or something.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout.
Yeah, just because it's gonna give them an in-game audio cue and just help them locate you and alert them that you need healing faster. So overall, it's just a button that'll get you healing sooner, and that way we're not sitting low. Yep. So far, Coach Gun you've been using it pretty well.
Okay.
Once again, good.
I was going to say, I feel like sometimes I use it too much, but maybe
maybe
not.
You've been using it pretty good. You're using it for mobility to get up to high ground, you used it to get away from danger there. You've used it to get Reinhardt off of you. So you've been pulling out all the stops with it. All right, here definitely we're just sitting at like 55 HP. So this would 100% be like a situation where healing is like kind of first priority and requesting it from the Baptiste, so he's turning around faster. Be pretty big. Nice. Potentially don't want to be getting too aggressive when we're like 50 HP.
Yeah, that's fair. I think maybe that's more awareness as well of maybe taking notice that I am that low.
Yeah, once again, kind of sitting at 70. So just watching our health bar is a big thing.
Yeah.
And then we get doned by Sojourn.
Yeah.
There we kind of in this situation here. I think we peak. I'm not sure if we're peaking for Mercy or peaking to shoot Sojourn, because we peak and then we do pause for a long time before even firing a shot at her. So just make sure that if we're peaking Mercy, then maybe we can peek this direction, or we can peek in the back off as soon as she starts flying to us. But we just end up kind of standing here for too long, and then that lets Sojourn dome us. Because you can kind of see like how we peek and then we kind of stand there without shooting at all.
Yeah, I think I walk there, like you say, I peek, see Mercy gets me, and I think I'm almost covered by like covered by her health. So I feel like, oh, I can still stand out there when really, like you say, just maybe back up behind the glass.
Yeah, so once
You get
again,
full
just
health.
yeah, exactly. Just watching the health bar, and
Yeah,
then if we are peeking the shoot, just being faster about it, because you can do, especially if you have this glass, right? You can see through it. Just doing like a quick peek, right?
yeah,
So that we don't have to be out in the open for so long, and then that can that using that cover a bit better can help keep us alive longer.
perfect.
Okay. As you're coming back from spawn, usually you can just you can use a coach gun or two just so you can close the distance faster, and then
Yeah,
usually you're not gonna need it in you're not gonna need it like you're gonna get it again by the time the fight starts, and then even if you are a couple seconds away, usually you don't need it immediately.
Bob, do something.
All right, so we toss Bob in the cart here. Now, this may be mildly early on in the fight. Is one thing.
yeah,
Well, also noting that we didn't see the Symmetry right on top of us.
yeah, uh, yeah, yeah,
This is an atrocious timing. I'd maybe give it another like 5 seconds or so, or something like
yeah.
that.
No, that's
Um,
fair.
just because if we're using it kind of before the fight begins, then they're gonna have an easier job of just running away from Bob. They have all their abilities still. Anna's gonna be able to sleep Bob. They might be able to even kill him much easier because no one's acting as a distraction. Now their
Yep,
Symmetry is kind of running and sprinting into your team, so she's probably going to die here. But besides that, if Symmetra wasn't there, the teams are kind of real split up. They're not on
yep,
top of each other yet. So I might give it a little bit longer. The fight is still kind of progressing a little bit. Now let's talk about audio awareness, because it seems like we're not really hearing when people are like walking up on top of us. So real quick, let's go to settings. In settings, in sound, firstly, just make sure you have your master volume loud enough. That's very subjective because everyone has different system sounds. You just want to have it enough so you can hear things. Music
yeah,
volume, I'd recommend turning off or down just because that can clutter with audio if you have it too high. Then spatial audio, you just want to check your headset settings to make sure you have surround sound enabled. And if surround sound is not an option for your headset, then you can
yeah.
go to spatial audio and Dolby Atmos for headphones, and that's the in-game
Okay,
option.
perfect.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they added that in. I don't think it used to be on console, but I think that they added that for Overwatch 2. Don't 100% quote me on that, but you check it out if it's an option. Then if it's not, then I might recommend getting just headphones that are able to have sound that surrounds you, because that's pretty
Yeah,
handy. Also, play sound when enemy and teammate are eliminated. Turning those both on can be handy. It's basically like an auditory version of kill feed.
yep,
Um, so all that said and done, you can have all those settings be a-okay and not have good audio awareness if you're not actively listening. So you got to make sure that you're listening for footsteps
yeah,
and gunshots and abilities and ultimates, and that way we're not letting people walk up right on top of us and not being able to hear them. So just make sure we're paying attention, and we'll maybe go a bit more into application as we go through the session, but that can help Symmetra not be right here without us not noticing, because we even walk
yeah,
right past her too.
yeah. That is bad.
Your dynamites have been pretty decent.
Step it up, Bob. Vaporize.
Okay, good change of target though. Just make sure we're kind of looking for those guys first too. So it's not too, once
Yeah,
again, it's not too bad. It's just like kind of that first instinct that needs to be
yeah, of
changed up a
course.
little bit. Okay. There we give up kind of our high ground advantage for not really, too much of a reason. We don't the cart still has, probably another like 5-7 seconds to go if it wasn't contested. And I think we also have other teammates. We have like
Yeah,
sojourners on cart. So we don't have to worry about cart here. And then high grounds just always can be fantastic positioning. No, don't want to really like randomly drop if we don't need to from it. And we kind of drop in so that we can do left clicks when just doing scope shots from up here. Probably just gonna be more efficient anyways, more visibility. So it's just we're kind of giving up an advantage there.
no, that's fine. I hate her as a character. I just never seem to be able to kill her.
Yep, she's probably the hardest to kill support if she's played right.
Yeah.
I get the idea.
Oh, we noticed it. Okay. So Ashe versus Symmetra. Who wins when you are? Who wins in like a direct 1v1 if you're on top of each other?
No, Symmetra should win every time.
Yeah, or at least she has the advantage, right?
Yeah.
And so I probably wouldn't like sprint at her here. Is one thing we kind of get really overly aggressive. The other thing is that we don't use our greatest weapon in a duel, which is probably
Dynamite.
dynamite, right?
Yeah, I can see it in the bottom, just there.
Yeah,
No cooldown, just waiting
exactly.
to be used.
So alternatively, instead of kind of sprinting at her here, we could probably just like toss a dynamite in at her and then get her burning and then peek in with maybe some left clicks or right click or a scope shot, right? Apologies. I keep doing. I always do that. I say left click, right click, like I'm talking about mouses.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean, right? That works.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we just get a little aggro. Probably could still be dynamiting. There you go. Okay, good job getting away from the teleporter so that she couldn't like teleport back. That's a good idea. You also are booping her up in the air, which
Yep.
makes her easier to hit. But what's the problem here after we coach gun her?
I'm stuck, basically.
Well, the issue that I'm seeing is that instead of following up on it, we reload.
Yep.
When we have like
Yeah.
we had like we were like 10, right? I think or something like that. We were like 9 or 10, right? So we go shot, coach gun, and then instead of following up on our shots because she's out of position, she's up in the air. Instead of shooting at her, we end up reloading 2 bullets, right? So just prioritizing a bit there. Usually reloading comes in lulls in time when there's not really too much to do. So anytime you kind of have like a half a second with nothing to do, but this is a second where we do have something to do. Make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes it so to seeing it back, yeah.
All right. Firstly, watch like running back into him. We kind of press W a bit there and let him get close to us and close enough to swing on us. Secondly, maybe if you potentially be coach gunning like up to the high ground or making sure we're coach gunning him so we kind of push him back as well.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, yeah, we're kind of. I think we're just gonna eat through a lot of our ammo if we're just kind of left clicking into the Ryan there.
Yeah.
Especially when he's like not immediately on top of us. Maybe we can just do some scope shots. It's a better bang for your buck, especially if he's not like on top of us and he's on somebody else.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, it's just not gonna waste as much. Once again, kind of sitting low HP, so you're just watching the health bar. Yeah, bit of some minor things, but it's it adds up. Yeah, I like that we're going for the high ground. Okay, notice where our team is.
Yep.
Right, and then notice where we're at. Pretty far back when the kind of the fight's all happening in that little room all over the in there. So this is something that this is probably a bit before your time in Overwatch. Since you've been kind of so I don't know if you remember him at all. But there was this coach who is he was an Overwatch League coach. He's also a big streamer, Jane. This is something he used to say when faced in a situation like this. He basically said if one of your teammates is going into their spawn, and feeding, or I guess if one person is inting into them, right? That's called feeding, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you have an entire team who's doing that, that's called a strategy. Right, so the concept behind it is if you have your entire team who's like pushed up into their spawn, it might not be the best play for your team to be making, but it's better that you make the play as a team than for it to be like, 2, 3, 4 people, and then have a one person randomly sitting in the back, because then, like, it's the fight's happening up there, and then what are you doing back here,
Yeah,
right?
no.
The
Yeah.
team's just all gonna die, and then now because they're at a disadvantage, and then you just have to back up anyways. So it's better to just, if you see your team's pushed up into a bad spot, unless it's like one person. If it's like one person, if it's one person, you can work with that, right? You can still win 4v5. That's fine. But if it's like 2, 3, 4 people, just go up and join them, right? Go up
Yeah.
and be with them, because here we're just a bit far back, bit slow to go and join the fight.
Yeah, I think in this, I don't think I realised how far they had gone,
Hmm.
and I think that's why I was sat there, because I thought, oh, they're not that far, but look, and you can see they're,
Yeah. And you can also see your teammates through walls too, right? So
Yeah.
just kind of seeing where they're at. And then I think we also saw kind of like their whole team run down in there originally, right? Like, oh, what the heck? I pressed it all the way back. Whoopsie. Wrong button. Right, so we're kind of like back here. We go up to the high ground. It's here.
Yeah.
And then I think we like turn the corner, and then we see there's the Reinhardt, and then we see and then we're about to like watch them all kind of funnel into that room. So we see Sigma drop in there, and then we see Reinhardt drop in there, and then we see Bap go in there, and then we're gonna see other people run in
Yeah.
there in a minute. So like we do as well. That's another thing, we just visually as well with awareness. Like we do see it all kind of unfold over there. So, all right, good shots. Once again, we do have coach gun, so if our teammates are poking up there, maybe we can go and just poke with them, and then back up it with the coach gun if we need, come back up to high ground with it if we need. Very nice, good shot. Whew. Getting those headshots.
It's not every game, mate. It's not every game.
Alright, I think we're going to talk about movement in a minute when we get the chance, but I'm going to look for like something else to bring to the training range with us.
No, that's perfect.
First thing I would say is just be cognizant over your movement, so it's not throwing off your aims. So just keep it in mind and think about it, so that we're not just like aiming at someone, moving to the left, and then aiming off of the person without really thinking, because that can throw off your shots. So just being cognizant of it. Yep. So here, right, this would be an example where like Shun and Reinhardt perfectly fine, right, because everyone else is around the corner. And Reinhardt's low HP, and we have a perfect angle on him, right? So we get in another shot, and he's dead. So perfectly fine to shoot at him. All right, so we're trying to kill the Reinhardt. I don't know if we are. I think we purposefully dropped to try to finish him, or maybe it's an accident, right?
A little bit of both. I think I was looking to make sure that I could finish him, but wouldn't have minded if I dropped.
Yep. So here, what's the reason why we should no longer, like, as soon as we drop here, we should probably just like coach gun back up to high ground. And why is that? Like, let's see if you can see what happens. It's apologies. I do run my stream like a little bit low on volume, so I can hear myself talk. But see if you can hear what happens as soon as we drop.
I didn't hear it, to be fair.
Right. Maybe you can see it on Sojourn at the moment. Sojourn actually popped her ultimate there. Like the moment, like right before we dropped, she popped her ultimate. Right. Plus there's like a Reaper on top of us, so probably not the best positioning to be in if we're kind of drop it right in the middle of their team, or kind of in between three. Like look at this.
Yeah.
At the moment. So just once again keeping eyes and ears open. Now we've talked a lot about awareness so far. Why don't we talk real quick on application, right? Because maybe awareness and audio awareness seem like a bit vague of a concept on like how to apply. Like how do I look and hear better? It seems a bit strange. But really, you work on those things the exact same way you work on anything, and that is that while you're playing through your game, you want to make sure that you're actively focusing on what you're working on. So you pick something out, and that means that you're not going to autopilot, you're not just going to play, and
Yeah.
contrary to popular belief, you're not going to purely play to win, because then you'll kind of stagnate, but you're going to play to improve, because then you'll actually win more games. And what that will actually look like within your gameplay is you're going to pick something out, so let's say awareness, and you're going to think to yourself, awareness, 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 audio awareness, listen, 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 look, 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 right? You're going to give yourself that constant stream of reminders to
Yeah.
think about your surroundings. And what is awareness? Well, awareness is thinking about your surroundings. So if you're thinking about your surroundings, then you're probably going to think about your surroundings a bit more, right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
And then as you do that for long enough, and then your awareness will be better. As you do that for a long enough period of time, that will form it as a habit. Once it forms as a habit, then it kind of just comes naturally. It's not something you need to focus on as much. And then after that, you can move on to something else to work on. Final thing is don't try to do everything all at the same time, just because we are and will be talking about a lot of different things. And it'll be overwhelming to try to do it all at the same time. So instead, pick a category to work on. Or
Yeah.
if it's categories too much, then 1 to 3 smaller things within the category.
No, that sounds cool.
Yep. Alrighty.
Just quickly as well, on the stream, I can't. Am I supposed to be able to hear the stream playing now?
Yeah, so you should be able to. Can you hear it if I turn this up to 100? Are you able to hear it?
No, I can't hear anything.
No.
I don't know what.
That's interesting. Let me try restreaming, and then you can also check on the stream. If you check on the stream, if you like right click on it or something like that, I'm not sure what device you're on, but
Yeah,
you should.
it says stream volume 200%.
Yeah. So you can hear it now?
No, I can't hear anything. That's weird. Oh well.
That's very interesting because I'm streaming the application, so I don't know why you wouldn't be getting audio at all. Stream.
Yeah, stream volume's on 200%.
Because I have my volume. Yeah, so I am streaming the application. Smoother video. All right. Yeah, and then it's definitely not quiet on my end.
Yeah, I don't know if something that one. Okay.
Yeah, I had somebody else saying that the other day too. So I wonder if that's a Discord thing or if that's what's
Could
up
be.
with that.
Discord, you never know with Discord.
Yeah. Alrighty. Alright, so we got rezzed. Which is good.
Yeah.
We got Bob coming up here. Once again, like mild thing here, not major, but once again, like if you see that his whole team's following up behind him, maybe dynamiting someone else besides Reinhardt, as well as just looking for kind of like as many people as we can in our dynamites. So we're using it very consistently. We're landing him. Fantastic. Minor tweaks would be just looking for maybe a bit better target priority with it, and then also trying to get just as many people as possible. So waiting for like 2 people to group up before we're dynamiting, that sort of thing, can be a bit handy. Nice shot.
Thank you.
Okay. Watch those left clicks. Left clicks are, when it comes to left clicks, they burn through your ammo really quickly, and they also do like it's less of a bang for your buck. You're doing less damage with them.
Yeah.
So when do you want to use it? You want to use it if you have like somebody right on top of you, because if they're right on top of you, then you don't want to be scoping in, because then you're going to be super easy to shoot. Then on top of that, you can use it if you're finishing off someone who's low HP. But do note that that's usually gonna want to be even like if they're like mid-ranged or closer, because the further away you are from somebody, the harder that unscoped shot is gonna be to hit. It's also gonna have pretty big spread once you start shooting multiple of them. So the first shot will go straight. I actually don't know how many shots go straight, but it'll be like maybe like first 2 or 3, and then it'll start to be really spread out after that. So just want to make, usually it's close like really close range, low HP targets we're using it for, and then if somebody's right on top of you. But here she's full HP, she's at a mid range, she's scoping in. Probably just go for the scoped headshots. It'll be much more efficient. Okay, so we go for the bomb. Let's relook at this. We go for the bob here, but then we kind of like run away, even though we saw that Anna is just kind of chilling there out in the open, and Bob's
Yeah.
going to be damaging these guys. We kind of like swap around to look over here when we kind of have targets to shoot at over here already. So I just,
Yeah.
you know, kind of capitalize once again when we see the Anna's out of position and scoped in. That's going to be, she's going to be moving super slowly, and we can just line up those headshots super easily. So we kind of just swap up unnecessarily. Very nice.
I don't know what the boy was doing there. He was just sitting there, bless him.
Okay, minorly delayed. Probably want to be. I think we're looking for a dynamite, but it's still on a second there.
Yeah. I hate Echo as well. In the air.
Okay,
In the
air
is where I struggle, I think.
Oh, for sure, it's a harder shot to hit. Know here that we do get her low though, and we're still like 200 HP, 180. And then we kind of back off and look how far away she is from cover here as well.
Yeah.
And yet we kind of back off to rotate. So once again, kind of just giving up that free kill. Because that just took one more body shot and she's dead. We could have even dynamited if we needed to there, because we had that as an option. So once again, just make sure we're not giving up those free kills. Just that seems to be maybe like a minor theme coming up here. Keeping just ears and eyes open, so we're not getting caught off guard like that, but good reaction times once you did get hit with it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Dynamite there again. All right, I finally got the other thing we're gonna talk about, and we're gonna exit out here. You're doing pretty good with it up on the high ground, but we're going to discuss something in a moment. But first, let's go over movement. Alright, so I was noticing that we're doing this a lot, where we're up on the high ground, and we're kind of doing like a circular motion with your movement. So we're kind of like going like this or something like that while we're scoped in around the high ground, and that's kind of how we're moving. And it's good that you're moving. Moving is better than not moving. You don't want to stand still ever, because standing still is going to get you shot and killed. Going to get you headshot real easily. But I would make a bit of a tweak to it in that, notice, right, if this is the enemy aiming right at me, right, and I go forwards and backwards. Well, notice how this entire time I'm going forwards and backwards. Well, I'm remaining on their screen and at head level either way, right? Forwards and backwards really isn't going to do anything for me unless I'm aiming, if I'm this way from them, right? Now I'm going side to side. But forwards and backwards from this angle really isn't making a difference. In fact, all it's really doing is it's just throwing off your own aim, because now that's more movement to account for. Then other thing would just be like, don't go too fast back and forth. Don't go too slow back and forth. You want to find a nice medium rhythm back and forth, and then you don't want to just do the medium rhythm back and forth, because then that's once again super easy to predict. So you kind of randomize it, right, left to left, right, right. You kind of be a bit random with it as you're shooting, and then just make sure you're once again keeping it in mind and adjusting for your own movement. But the idea is just you're not you're just not moving in predictable patterns, whereas kind of our patterns seem to be just the circular motion, and then that forwards and backwards movement isn't really going to be as good. So just some things to think about with that. Now, another topic to go over here is crosshair placement. Is that a term you're familiar with?
Yeah.
Yep. So I'll just redefine it in my own words, and we'll just do a quick review, and I'll show you where I think it could be used a bit better there. But you're doing a pretty decent job on the high ground, so I wouldn't say that it's it's atrocious by any means. It's just needs a bit of work, and that's going to be also part of consistency. This is crosshair placement is really just using your brain to help your aim. It's putting your crosshair in the best place possible to hit shots the easiest as possible, and that'll, if you're getting better crosshair placement, that'll make your aim more consistent across your games. Because you're talking about how your aim's not very consistent. So this is one step towards that. Now, crosshair placement, the first major step to crosshair placement is going to be aiming head level, because headshots do a lot more damage than body shots. You're basically doing like 2 times the damage with headshots across most characters. So headshots, very worth it. They're going to be doing you a lot. And if we're aiming down here, to go to a head, I have to adjust up to the right, up to the left, up to the right. If I'm aiming here, well, then it's just left and right. It's a lot less movement to account for. Less space or crosshair needs to move means easier shot. If I'm just aiming down around, like, just let's say I'm going about my business, I'm aiming around the corner, shooting the shields down a corridor, into people, I'm naturally going to be hitting body shots. But if I'm doing the same exact thing into shields, around corners, down corridors, I'm just going to be naturally hitting those headshots just because that's where I'm aiming at. Same concept, pre-aiming. Bot is somewhere. It's a bot's top left, going top right. Bot's going to come back, so I'm pre-aiming, head level, a little bit away from the wall. That way, as soon as the bot comes back, it's very easy shots, right? Very little adjustment. It wasn't too difficult. Bot's left side, pre-aiming left side as I'm turning this corner. So as soon as I'm turning, very easy shots to land. These guys are a bit on a slope, so the same way you have to adjust down on a Torb and up on a tank, we're going to adjust downwards on these guys. So as soon as we're turning this corner, very little adjustment, right? Just very easy shots to land. So that sort of thing. Just make sure you're looking to do that consistently. I'll show you in a moment where we weren't doing that.
No, that's fine.
And then more on mechanics. Just because once again you're just saying, like, so far it's been looking pretty good, but you said maybe sometimes it's a struggle. Do you typically warm up before you play comp?
No, I would literally, like, I'll get a text and the boys will say I'm on, and we're just straight into comp.
Gotcha. So I might recommend warming up, because basically the fastest part of your entire skill set to dissipate is your aim, right? It'll get rusty the fastest. You're not going to get on tomorrow and then forget, this character uses this ability, but you will get on tomorrow and your muscle memory will start to fade a little bit. And that's really what warming up is it's getting your blood pumping, it's getting your aim back in the game, and that way you don't need to use your first game to do that in competitive. Instead, what you can do is do like a high aim intensive mode for just about like 10 minutes, maybe if at the very least doing it while you're queuing up, maybe if you're a game, because you're queuing as a group, maybe if that's taking like 5 minutes or something, that's what you can do is you can go, and the modes I'd recommend is, like I said, you want high aim intensive ones, so maybe like a triad free-for-all or a regular deathmatch. There's aim arena, there's 1v1 arena in custom games. You can do aim trainers in game. You'd play on console, so I don't know how many console aim trainers are out of game, but
there's a couple that I know of.
So you can mix it up, be a little bit random with it. That's another way. That's how you can warm up, but then also just like practicing as well, practicing with your aim. But like I said, it doesn't need to be for super long, like 10 minutes before you play. Another thing for consistent aim, it would be just playing consistently. So just whenever you get the chance, let's say you got work or something like that, and you don't really have too much time to play comp in a day, maybe just getting on to do that quick warm up for 10 minutes. That can keep your aim consistent rather than having to come on after 2 or 3 days and having rusty aim. That can help just keep it fresh and not and once again, it just avoids the rust and keeps practicing with it, just getting on to do a couple custom games and then hopping off, that sort of thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so any questions on anything so far?
No, honestly, no, really. It's explained quite well.
Gotcha. Let's keep going then. Alright, we were on Midtown. I think this was it.
Now entering Midtown. Ready for battle.
Yeah, it was.
Alright, so this is around it. This is where I was seeing it with the crosshair placement. Where notice how we're coming around this corner and then kind of look where crosshairs at, and then it kind of stays here. We're gonna adjust up to the head here, which is good. We kind of adjust up a little bit. we're maybe still a little too low on the echo. We're kind of aiming at the shoulders. Then we come over here, and then notice how we kind of go back down to the floor. So we're turning this corner, and we're turning the corner, looking down here. And now this is just really low. We're not going to be hitting those headshots on the echo. Using Coach Gun on her, there can help finish her off. Coach Gun away, Dynamite afterwards can help be good things to finish off those kills. Probably also don't want to be getting out of that room because we did spend an extended period of time in there.
Yeah.
With their whole team kind of running at us. So
No.
maybe getting a bit further away would be a good idea. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you can see it a little bit here too when we're coming out and aiming. Notice where it is in comparison to Reinhardt. Notice where it is in comparison to Kiriko. Right, so
Yep.
just bit too low, aiming up a little bit higher. All right.
5, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Hey, good Dynamite. Dynamites have been on point.
Thanks.
Alright. Peeking for once again requesting heals because we're like 80 HP. Just want to get topped off and not be sitting there.
Yeah.
Almost. Bit too far. Uh-oh. So, let's rewatch this for a second. So, Reinhardt, like, right over there. Just watching where Reinhardt's at, because he's, like, right next to us here in the situation. Maybe as well, rather than kind of coming in the room and over to the side. Because we are, let's see, did we take damage at all? We maybe took a little bit of damage. So I think maybe we're trying to grab the health pack here.
Yeah.
Taking high ground here probably wouldn't be too shabby of an idea. High ground's
Yeah.
usually pretty fantastic. Be where I'd recommend to go in a lot of cases.
Enemy turrets ahead.
I get the idea.
Okay, so here, noticing two things. Firstly, is that we're possibly could have gone for the shot on the Ashe since she's this would have one tapped her since she's already down on HP, and
Okay.
she's also scoped in and maybe would be an easy shot to hit since she's kind of just sitting in that little tiny spot where we probably wouldn't have to adjust too far to hit her. The other thing is if we're running through the open, maybe use Coach Gun so that we're not kind of slowly walking through.
No. Yes.
And then also look at that guy.
Yeah, I remember this bit, and I saw him go down, and once he dropped down, I didn't. If I'm pretty certain that I didn't want to go back out into the open because everyone was watching. So it was almost like, do I come back down to kill him?
Yeah. Well, here we probably don't need to, because notice how we did line of sight ourselves from the Ashe. And then, the other thing to think of, like, okay, well, Ashe is really your biggest threat at the range here, right? Because what's Reinhardt going to do? Torbjorn's running away. Turret's not a line of sight. Bap and Ana are like can do decent damage too, but not high in burst, right? They can't like 100
Yeah.
gotta do then is use cover, right? So cover going like bloop, now you can't see me. And therefore there's really not a reason to just peek back here and shoot at the torp because there's just Ashe is out of our line of sight, and she's our biggest threat here, right?
Okay. Yep. No.
Kind of walked backwards into that one.
Yeah. I didn't think it was that close.
Mhm. Like a dynamite. Oh, nice shot. Okay. Possibly could have just maintained the high ground over here. I don't know if there was like, as this would continue to give us just a good angle over point.
Yep.
But maintaining high ground, it kind of depends because what we do is we drop and then we kind of like stay on the low ground right around the bus here. We should kind of cut
Yeah.
off our angles, and then we also run into Reinhardt again. So just make sure we're keeping our distance from Reinhardt. High grounds. I mean, I don't want to. We're running out of time here, so really quickly. High grounds, right? Just fantastic. One look to take them. Don't drop for them if not needed, right? If there's no other reason to. But on high grounds, we have tons of visibility. We can see better angles. We have a ton of survivability because the whole most high grounds act as cover, where we can just put people out of our line of sight, right? We can just do this, and they can't see us. And then besides that, most characters can't reach us up on the high ground, which gives us extra survivability. So you just think through stuff like that. All right, let's start to do the wrap-up review and go over the main points of the session. Abilities, Coach Gun. Pretty good. Not too many issues with it. Yeah, maybe like it's not perfect, but nothing to really write home about. In terms of things to work on. Dynamites, target priority, maybe like minor thing, like don't dynamite Reinhardt if there's other targets to shoot at. And then besides that, just going for as many people as possible with it. Besides that, most of them were pretty solid. Ability usage overall, like low priority for you to work on. Not too big of a deal, but still some stuff.
Yeah, of course.
One moment, I have a tickle in my throat. All right. So next we got some ultimate usage. Ult usage. I saw a couple bobs. One bob, make sure we're just watching, not using it too early in the fight. Besides that, look to kind of follow up on what Bob's up to and doing. Don't chuck Bob over here and then immediately look that way when Bob's shooting at stuff. Just because usually you can kind of follow up on the damage Bob's doing. If he boops someone up in the air, you get to shoot the person up in the air. If he's pushing people out of position, you can shoot people running out of position, that sort of thing. Besides that, I don't know if we saw too many. I think I saw 2 in total.
Yeah.
And both of them looked pretty decent. We kind of sent them into decent positioning and at decent times, so not too many issues with the ultimate usage either. Probably around the same as your ability usage, being just that low, maybe higher end of a low for both of them. There's still things to work on, but it's a lower priority for you to work on. Then next comes mechanics. A couple things. Firstly, crosshair placement, aiming at head level, aiming where people are going to be, pre-aiming. Make sure that you are also. I just recommend warming up as well for your friends as well. Keep consistent. Try to get in. Try not to go if at all possible. Of course, life will happen and stuff will be more important. But if at all possible, try to play consistently. Even if it's just for like 10 minutes. Then besides that, left click versus right click. notice if I'm left clicking from all the way back here, the first shot is accurate. It goes to where my crosshair's at. But if I go tap, 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 and now I'm shooting at him, notice how this is much less accurate.
Yeah.
A lot more spread on it. So usually it's like when somebody's right on top of you, or if we're like close to mid and we're finishing off a target, we can left click.
Yeah.
Then yeah, so there'll just be some times where we just do it unnecessarily and people burn through a lot of our ammo. Reload. Don't like if you have people to shoot at them, right? Don't randomly start reloading in the middle trying to shoot at them. There were some times where we would kind of pass up on opportunities to kill people, right? Like somebody would be like low HP or right next to us, and we'd kind of just like let them waddle away instead of finishing off the kill. Like with Torbjorn when he's on top of us, or when there's the 1 HP echo, right? That sort of thing. So just make sure capitalizing on your kills, finishing them off. Final thing I think in here is target priority, right? Once again, not a massive thing, but it's a lot of like those minor things that add up, where target priority, make sure we're shooting at those easy targets to kill when they're an option, and then also seeking them out as options over just shooting at the Reinhardt first thing. And then, of course, shooting at Reinhardt if he is now a good option, being low, out of position, or if he is the only option, that sort of thing. Overall, mechanics and all the things in between are gonna be a little bit higher, maybe like at higher end of a medium priority for you to work on. Then comes your positioning. I don't think was too shabby. Maybe once in a while using cover. You know, good positioning is the usage of cover. Bad positioning is the absence of cover. I think maintaining the high ground. So there were a couple times where we would just kind of randomly drop from a high ground, and then that would put us in worse positioning. And then it was kind of like usually when we didn't really have a big reason to, and we'd kind of give up the advantage. So make sure you're not randomly dropping. Use coach gun to get back up to high ground if you do randomly drop. Besides that, stay within your range. Sometimes you kind of like sprint into the Reinhardt, which would be great, right? You're mid-ranged character, maybe like further end of mid-range, right? But you're mid-range, so don't run up into close range on close-range characters. Don't, you know, go and play at Widowmaker's distance either. Then overall positioning, around a medium, right? Or maybe lower end of medium, somewhere around, maybe like lower end of medium. Then finally we got awareness. Awareness, pay attention to your health bar. Request healing when you're low. Make sure we're not like re-peaking and being aggressive when we're low. Watch where the heck is my team at. What are they up to? What are they doing? Where's the enemy team at? Keeping your eyes and ears open. Don't just kind of walk around and do slow pans walking around, but do like 180s, check around, well, you know, what's happening around me. Be aware of where people are, because we'd have like enemy players just kind of walk up right on top of us without us noticing. And then, you know, that'll get us killed as well. And overall, and then all other odds and ends within awareness, right? Paying attention to things. Sometimes we'll try to go for dynamite and it's still on like 3 or 4 seconds. That sort of thing. Overall, that one was probably also like higher end of a medium. So to put that all in order, number 1, I'm probably going to put at trying to think I'm trying to think between mechanics or awareness. I think mechanics may have some important, like, you know, mindset shifts to get out of the way, and then after mechanics, you know what? I guess let's do awareness. Let's just do awareness. Awareness is good overall. You know, that's gonna be a good one to have. Okay, so awareness, then mechanics. Obviously, they're close, so either or. They're not. It's not a major deal either way you go. But awareness, then mechanics. Then number 3 comes positioning, and then there's a big drop off after that to the other two, with still some things to work on, but not nearly as pressing. Honestly, you just tie them down there. Just number 4 being abilities and ults. Any final questions?
No, that's perfect, thank you. I've just got to actually put it into some kind of practice now.
Yeah, that's the next step. So let's